Hello, it's always reassuring when somebody turns up the first time. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, oh, is anybody going to come? So good to see you. Hello. Good morning. There's 4 of you now. A minute ago, there was nobody. It's really good to see you. Good morning, Rose. Good. You got through on YouTube. Good, the problem's sorted then. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry you've missed us for a few days. Good morning, Michelle. I'll just wait a little bit longer. I think numbers are falling because it's just before Christmas. People are busy, aren't they? We're all busy doing things, getting ready, packing stuff in before the holidays. So I have a few things to say, so we'll start. Welcome. It's really nice to be back. I've been away on retreat for 10 days, which was very good. A bit more disruptive than I would have liked, but that's the way life goes sometimes. But very good. Nice to have a break. And I very much miss being here in the morning. Just wanted to let you know that we're going to end the Pyjama meditations next Thursday. That's the last day of Pyjama meditations at 8 o'clock. And then we'll have a break over Christmas. And then on the 4th of January, Monday the 4th, we begin morning meditation again, but this time at 7 o'clock in the morning. We've sort of been thinking about this for quite a while, and it does appear that people are too busy. Most people are too busy at 8 o'clock in the morning, with schools being back and people going to work. It means that it's just an awkward time. So we're beginning at 7, and then we'll do the normal 35 minutes from 7 o'clock. And then if you can't make 7 o'clock, then the recording's always there for you to have a look at. So I hope that's okay. Yeah, so I think there's only 3 of us this morning, so that's a bit odd, isn't it? But I guess people are busy. But 3 important people, and 4 with me. So we'll begin. And I was going to talk this morning about craving and avoidance, craving and aversion. And this is something that we all suffer from. And I say suffer from because it does cause us problems in our lives. As human beings, we have this idea that happiness lies in getting what we want and avoiding what we don't want. And that seems quite sensible. I mean, it seems absolutely rational, doesn't it? But somehow it just doesn't work. And it doesn't work because nothing material will ever give us real contentment. Our need for real contentment goes way beyond material things, and material things let us down. So we might crave a new relationship, or a better relationship, or a different relationship. And the craving actually creates suffering. This longing might feel quite pleasant sometimes, but actually it's quite painful. And we try and avoid things that we can't really avoid, don't we? And we put ourselves through all sorts of discomfort by trying to push them away when we can't. I've got a hospital appointment next Monday, and I really don't want to go. It's not going to be pleasant. It's only an outpatients thing, but it's not going to be pleasant, and I really don't want to go. And my not wanting to go creates all sorts of difficulties for me and pain. I have a love of cake, and you know, if I start craving for cake, another slice of cake, it feels really painful, and I can't necessarily stop doing it. But if I have another piece of cake, it doesn't make me happy. It just makes me very full. So we're in this sort of pickle where, you know, we crave things and we try and push them away, and it's no good forcing ourselves to do anything. But what we have to do is to see that craving and aversion causes us pain, and if we keep seeing that, eventually the craving and aversion will begin to drop away. And I can vouch for that. I still do it, but not as much as I used to. So we're trying to in our practice as a Buddhist, I'm trying to deal with, just notice craving and aversion and how it causes me suffering. Now, the whole point of what I'm saying is that we do this to ourselves. You know, we want to be different. We want to be better people than we are. We want to be better looking than we are, younger than we are, more, I don't know, more supple, more clever, more fit, whatever it is. We just crave being different, as if somehow if we were perfect, everything would be fine. And at the same time, we try and avoid things. We don't like bits of ourselves. We try and avoid them. We push them away. We get a bit fed up over them. We criticize ourselves. We run ourselves down. Sometimes we're quite abusive to ourselves, aren't we? In either mild ways or sometimes not very mild ways. So all these are, again, to do with trying to make things how we want them to be, in this misguided idea that then we will be happy. And it doesn't work, because we can't change things like that. So what we have to do is to just accept things as they are. Just at this moment, everything as it is okay. It's just as it is. And maybe we can change some of them things about ourselves or about the world, and maybe we can't. So we can try and change the things that are possible to change, like we can practice a spiritual path. Or we can just accept the things that we can't change, such as what we look like. And this sort of acceptance, this sense of acceptance, is the root, is the path to happiness. It's the path to contentment. And that's what we're going to practice this morning, the path to personal contentment for just how we are ourselves. So just taking care of ourselves, learning to love ourselves as we are. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. it's not my ideas, it's the Buddha's ideas, and they've worked very well for me and continue to, and I'm still working on them, of course. Good morning, Kate. Right, so there's 6 of us now. That's nice to see you all. And for those who came later, we're going to start after the holidays. We're going to have a break over Christmas. We're going to start at 7 o'clock in the morning from the 4th of January, just so you know. And if you can't make 7 o'clock, then you can watch the recording each day at 8 o'clock if that suits you better. Okay. So just get comfy. Oh, good morning, Zara and Sarah. Good to see you. Get comfy and settle into your meditation posture. Good morning, Chris. And we'll begin this self-care meditation. So we'll begin, as in all meditations, just sitting and taking stock of ourselves. Just how we are this morning, how we're feeling. And as I've been trying to say, however we're feeling is okay, even if we're feeling that we shouldn't be feeling like this. Then that's okay as well. Whatever we're feeling, doesn't matter. It's okay. Learning to accept ourselves and the situation just as it is. Whatever it is. And just noticing the pull of gravity, the weight of your being, your body on the bed or the cushion or the chair. Just allowing yourself to be supported by whatever you're sitting or lying on. Just a nice, solid, firm base. Just feeling held and grounded. And just relaxing as much as you can. Being alert, sitting up as straight or lying in a sort of alert position, if you can do that. But trying to be alert, but also relaxed at the same time. You don't have anything much to do in the next 25 minutes. It's just a time for you to let go and relax. And bringing attention to the breath. Just the gentle breathing of the body. Just appreciating that. Maybe noticing the movement of the chest and the sides of the body and the upper back of the body as we breathe. Just relaxing as much as you can. And bringing attention to the bottom of the rib cage in the center of the chest. And just behind here is the heart center. The chitta. This is the place of all our emotions really, but particularly the positive ones. So as you breathe in, you might be able to feel a tenderness behind the bottom of the rib cage in the middle. Teacher called Pema Chodron calls this a soft spot, our soft spot. So just seeing if you can find that. It might help to bring to mind somebody you really love, or a pet or a person. If you can't feel anything there, just being patient, just keeping open to the possibility. And if you can, allowing it to just evolve, to grow bigger, to spread through the body. You don't have to do anything, just notice it. Don't try and force it, just noticing this sense of love in the heart center. Just allowing it to grow by itself as it wishes. Allowing it to spread through the body. And somehow turning this sense of love and kindness towards our own being, towards ourselves. Most of us are constantly in a state of wishing we were different, or wishing we'd acted differently in some way. So can we just turn this sense of loving kindness to ourselves just as we are, with all our deficiencies, with all our unsatisfactoriness, our imperfections. Can we turn that loving kindness towards all that? To sometimes what feels like a struggle. And maybe we can relax a little bit with how we are. Just seeing this struggling, tender human being behind all the wish to be different, behind the dissatisfaction. There's just a tender human being doing their best. And just for a moment, can we reach out to ourselves with love and kindness and acceptance? And a sense that it's just okay to be as we are. We're all messy. We're all on a path to improving ourselves wherever we can. But the messiness is who we are. It's beautiful. It's perfectly imperfect. Or imperfectly perfect. And in a way, we can't be any different to how we are. We are who we are, what we are. And that's okay. It's got to be okay, because it's the truth. So just opening our hearts to ourselves just as we are, doing our best, tender, sensitive human being. So as we go through our lives, we need help, we need support. And sometimes that comes from the people around us, and from friends and family. And sometimes it doesn't. But there is one source of support that is always there for us, and that is ourselves. So can we learn to look upon ourselves with a kindly gaze, just as a really true friend would gaze upon us? Can we look after ourselves like a good friend would look after us? In other words, can we be our own best friend? Always there. Always ready to support us, encourage us, and let us know that however we're feeling, it's okay. We're okay. So whatever happens in our lives, whatever the ups and downs, can we be our own best friend? And we might notice, as we do support ourselves, as we do look after ourselves, that there is a part of us that is very vulnerable, a part of us that is a bit frightened, that doesn't feel quite good enough, that worries a lot about what might happen, what people might say maybe. Maybe we could see this part of us as the small child within us. Perhaps actually going back to when we were a small child. Can we picture this little being? Can we somehow bring him or her to life? To have a mental picture of this little being that's a bit frightened and feels a bit inadequate at times. And can we help this little child? Can we be the grown-up to our little child? Reassuring him or her, supporting them, helping our child to grow and mature. Just always being there, always being the reliable, kindly parent, giving love and reassurance. So keeping aware of our inner child, maybe holding his or her hand. We're going to now try and meet our inner critic, this part of us that is constantly criticizing the things that we do, constantly dissatisfied with how we are, how we act in the world, how we are in the world. So can we turn towards our inner critic? This inner critic seems quite harsh at times, quite unkind, maybe. But really, our inner critic is also scared, just like the inner child. Scared that we won't act in the world in ways that are acceptable. Scared that we might be rejected. Scared that we might not be good enough. And the inner critic tries to change things by constantly criticizing us. And it means well, it really means well. And it doesn't realize, this inner critic is so frightened that it doesn't realize that it's actually undermining how we feel. So can we turn towards the inner critic with love and kindness as well? Can we help it to feel less scared? Can we help our inner critic to just calm down? Let it know that it's actually, everything's okay. We're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes. And all we have to do is just notice them, and things will change. We don't need to criticize ourselves. That's very negative. We just need to notice what we need to change, or what we would like to change. So taking care of our inner critic too, letting it know that it too is okay, that everything is fine, and opening our hearts to it. So just maybe trying to have a resolve to accept ourselves as we are, messy as we are, perfectly imperfect. And just knowing that there's bits of ourselves that we can't change, and learning to accept them, and working with the parts of ourselves that we can change with patience and kindness. Being our own best friend, helping us to do this, helping us to accept ourselves as we are, and to change what we can change. Looking after our small child within, holding his or her hand, and holding them close when they need love. And soothing our inner critic when it gets upset, when it begins to carp. Just seeing it for what it is, and giving it love, giving our inner critic love and kindness as well. So taking care of all the many different parts of ourselves, opening our hearts to ourselves, and the way that we just keep trying, we keep doing our best. Oh, that's worth a lot of kindness and appreciation. And then finally, just observing that every other person in the world feels much the same as us. All 7.8 billion people in the world, they too are messy like us. They too need support. They too have a small child within and an inner critic. And they too struggle with themselves sometimes. So as we look after ourselves, can we have a sense of appreciation for all those around us, going through much the same ups and downs as we do? Can we love ourselves and love those others around us too, with a sense of kindness and acceptance? Can we go through today with a real sense of open-heartedness and love? Well, there we are. So during today, can I suggest that you try and catch yourself when you begin to criticize, when you find the inner critic arises? Just catch the inner critic, and catch the small child too that's feels unsure or a bit frightened. Just catch them and give them some love. And maybe we can have a sense of just accepting that we're going to do daft things. We're going to be messy. And that's okay. We're just doing our best. So let's look after ourselves today. Great to have you with me this morning. Thank you for coming. And just to remind you that we're going to end our morning meditations for the moment, for the Pyjama meditations, on next Thursday morning. That'll be the last one at 8 o'clock. But then on the 4th of January, on the Monday after the New Year, we start again at 7 o'clock in the morning, which I think we feel that that's a much better time for the vast majority of people from what our research and what we've been hearing. So it'll be from the 4th of January, we'll be doing 7 o'clock in the morning, pretty much what we're doing at the moment, slightly different, all based a little bit more on self-kindness, I think, and kindness to others. So, but very much the same. And we'll be doing that 5 days a week again at 7 o'clock every morning. So we'll still be here. And if you can't make 7, then we'll have the recordings, of course, which you can watch. So I hope you've enjoyed this morning and it's been useful to you. Remember to look after yourselves today. We must all do that. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning for following the breath, mindfulness on a Thursday. So lots of love to you all. Have a really great day and see you again soon. Bye.